Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog. Let's talk about the 3 books that I'm reading this week that are all so good. So currently I am listening to Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, and I am so irritated that they have changed the covers for these, because I thankfully have book 1 and 2. But I was looking at book 3 because I was like, oh, well, I know I like this series. And let me show you. And it's so sad. Like, these covers are so cool. And I feel like these have been the covers for a long time. And now, look. Look at the difference. This is one of, like, I don't know, one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, why do they do this to us? Why do they change the covers of books? I'm dealing with this in another series right now, and I'm trying to show, I want to show the book 3. Wow. Book 3 had such a cool cover. And then they switched it to this. I don't know. I just don't think this matches the story. Like the vibe of the book. This is the book. So I'm bummed that I have, but at least I have book 1 and 2 in the editions that I like. Now the paperbacks in this edition are like really expensive, so I will not be purchasing them. But I'm listening to this. I'm almost done. I'm on like around page 450. And I'm enjoying this as much as I did the first time I read it. I was afraid that if I reread it, I wasn't gonna like it as much, because that happened with Callie Hart's Quicksilver. It's like I should not have reread it. But I'm enjoying this, and I figured I was going to, because there's not a whole lot of spice in this. And I remember the story just being so good. We're following Tisana, who who is a slave, and she escapes slavery to join the Order, who are like her people that have magical powers. But she's kind of looked at as lesser because she has, like, oh, I forget what she's called, but like her skin has 2 tones, her hair has 2 tones, her eyes have 2 tones. So she's not like, I don't know if they use this word, but she's not like a pure in their type of people. She's like tainted or something like that. But she needs to be trained how to use her powers better, and so she's being trained by Max, who is this warrior who did all these great things, but he like he hates people. He's a very grumpy person and he doesn't want to train her, but he does. And there is this being, this power that is going to be a part of all 3 books, I'm assuming. I don't want to like say too much, but there's like, this is a good romantasy so far throughout book 1, where it's like it doesn't lean on the spice to like keep you interested. I don't need spice to keep me interested, but like the story itself is really good. And the like being that is in the book is also very interesting. So I am listening to this so I can listen to book 2 because it's part of my TBR. I'm reading Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor and loving this. This is written so beautifully. I'm on page 225. I'm tabbing it like crazy. Her writing in this is so like so beautiful, so I don't know, whimsical. it's so cool. Like, and I knew nothing about this book going in. I went in completely blind because I did not want to know, I didn't want to know anything, but I just know that this is a loved YA fantasy, and that it's a duology. But I feel like I heard, and I could be wrong, that they could be standalone books. I could be totally wrong. I feel like Strange the Dreamer is like, I've never felt it as like book one. I kind of thought it was like, could be a standalone, but I guess I'll find out at the end of this book. I'm thinking I'm gonna finish this in 2 days. Like, I'm gonna read 100 pages today and then finish this tomorrow. But we're following 2 protagonists. We're following Strange, Lonzo Strange, and then we're also following Lonzo Strange and Sarai. I think that's how you say her name. And the powers that like she has, the magical powers in this book are very interesting. Different to anything I've read. Her powers are like kind of gross, but really interesting. I like that her power is not just like all great, and you know, she doesn't like her power. And right now in the book, she kind of met herself personally, not, but her moths just met Lonzo, and she's very intrigued by him. She also met the prince. I think he's a prince. What's his name? Oh, I don't remember his name. But the prince in this book that Lonzo like helped out a lot. I'm like trying to figure out if they're gonna become like best friends or if they're gonna be like enemies, and who the love interest is gonna be, because she saw the prince, her moths saw the prince, and she was like, oh, he's very handsome. And then she saw Lonzo and she was like, he's not handsome, but there's something like about him. And then she like saw in his dreams. It's so interesting. I'm having such a good time with this. I'm really enjoying reading this and tabbing it. I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of these colors though. And then I'm reading. And then I'm reading a book that I've put off for years, and I shouldn't have, but I'm finally doing it. I'm reading Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. This is The Blood and the Broken, book 1. There are currently 4 books. No, there are currently 5, I think, but one of them is only available on KU right now, and 4 of them you can buy. It's kind of confusing because some of the like novellas aren't even available to buy physically, and I don't know if his 5th book is gonna come out in these editions or in another edition. They're in transition right now, which is very sad. And I'm curious to see if this is a series that has now been picked up that's gonna blow up all over the internet, because currently they have like really great reviews, but I don't see anyone talking about these books, and I'm wondering if that's gonna change if they show up in stores, not just like indie editions on Amazon. And his newest book, his 5th book, is like brand new or is about to come out, something like that. So I'm really curious to see if this is a series that blows up. It's not a romantasy, so maybe not. But it is dragons and elves and dwarves, and currently in the book, I'm 108 pages in, there was a like ogre. That's not what he was described as, or no. that he wasn't, these creatures that were just killed are not called ogres, but they kind of sounded like they were. They're these creatures that our protagonist killed. Let me explain. We're following Kaylin, who lives in this magical world, and he's like about to like become a man, and he has to go and with all the other boys at the age of 18, I think it's 18 when they do this, they go into the woods and they have to kill something. Whoever brings back like the biggest kill like wins this competition. And they just got back with a very big kill, but something happened that Kaylin did that he doesn't understand. And he hasn't told anyone, and he's confused and we don't really understand yet, but I'm thinking that he has magical powers that are manifesting. This is really good so far. It's easy to read. It's very like, I have not read Lord of the Rings, but this reminds me of Lord of the Rings, like the movies. Like with the elves, like in the beginning of the book, they're in like a tavern, like a bar. And in the beginning of this book, the whole town's people are at the bar, but I mean, it's called something different in the book. And a bard who is an elf is like telling them this story of these people, what happened to these people, how this one mage betrayed his people, and that story is probably going to be really important, but like the fall of these people and how a mage like betrayed all of them because he just wanted power. And I was like, that I can like picture this in like Lord of the Rings. So I thought that was very interesting, and my sister compared this to like Lord of the Rings and the Wheel of Time. She's like, that's what this kind of reminds me of, and I have not read either, but I just love that this isn't a romantasy. Like, I know that this is, and I think it's gonna be a good, I think book 2 I'm still gonna like, but as I was reading this, I was like, I love that that this isn't a romantasy. Like, I love that this is just fantasy, and I was thinking, I was like, I just need to read more fantasy and less romantasy, because I'm so glad this isn't a romantasy. So I'm going to finish this today and pick up book 2, and I'm hoping book 2 remains as good as book 1. I will let you know how I feel about it. And then finish this probably tomorrow. And right now my daughter is still asleep, probably for not very long. How long is she gonna sleep? Yeah, she's been asleep for 45 minutes, so she's probably gonna wake up in the next 10 minutes. But I'm gonna read for 10 minutes and finish my coffee. So this is my plan. Oh no, my amber mug is dying. It's still warm, okay. But I will come back with an update, and I'll see you later. It's the next day. I finished Daughter of No Worlds. I need to take these sticky notes out. And I had a good time. I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time. It's a solid 4 for me. I was gonna go straight into book 2, but I think I need a break. I think I need a break from them. I didn't think I was going to need a break, but when I finished this, I was just like, okay, I think I need a palate cleanser, because I have been reading so much fantasy. I have so much fantasy like on this TBR. I've been reading a lot of dystopian and fantasy, like last month too. And I was thinking about it and I was like, why do I feel like I need a break? And then I was like, oh, I'm reading a lot of fantasy and historical fiction. Like I was looking at picking up a Kristen Hannon and I was like, oh man, I don't know that I feel like reading that either. And I realized the genre that I have not been reading is horror. I have read 1 horror book this year. That's insane to me because that's like my genre. It's like fantasy, horror. I mean, I like everything, but I feel like I normally read a lot more horror and I read 1 and it was The Strain, and I read like a thriller horror, but to me that was not a horror. I think it's like horror subgenre. And I was super surprised. I was looking at my, I have my half and half iced coffee because I'm so tired. I was looking at my Goodreads and I'm like, whoa, what in the world? I normally would have read a lot more horror, maybe not last year, but in like a normal year, yeah. What I really want to read is a David Sodergren. I always want to read his books. He just came out with a new one. I don't have KU though, and I don't know if I'm gonna renew like anytime soon, but and I feel like libraries just don't, at least my library, my Libby, has like no horror, which is annoying. So I'm considering rereading a horror. Let's go look. Here is my horror and thriller shelves. And I don't know. I feel like I'm back in a slump. And maybe it's because I'm reading 3 fantasies together. And so I'm considering rereading Just Like Mother. When I read this a few years ago, I remember thinking or kind of hoping that this was like, I don't know, robot baby that is like super creepy. It's not focusing on it. There we go. And this is not that. This is more like cult. Wanting to be a mother so bad that it kind of drives you to insanity. That's what this was. But I'm wondering if I would like it more now. Like, I'm curious to reread this. I see myself unhauling quite a few of these, but this one I would want to reread before unhauling. But I would not reread any of those. The Bone Keeper's Insomnia, The Return, Alice Feeney. I don't think I'll read another Alice Feeney. So possibly Just Like Mother. I feel like reading a Darcy Coates, but these are very, other than From Below and Hunted, the rest of these are autumn feeling to me. I want a new Darcy Coates, but I don't think I want to reread Hunted. I read that not very long ago. I read From Below last year, and I don't know what to reread. I know I'll reread this at some point, but this is like sad horror. That's not exactly what I want. I think I want atmospheric or gross. like cozy or gross horror. Not necessarily sad or literary horror. My library doesn't have the second book in the Feed series, or I might pick that one up. I would like to get another Dean Koontz. This one was really good, but again, I read this like not that long ago. I remember this super well, so I don't know that I want to reread this just yet. I also considered rereading Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. The movie is exactly like the book, like almost word for word. So it's like watching the movie for a long period of time, but I'm also not sure. I just really don't have a lot of, if any, really, horror or thriller books on my TBR. I have lots of fantasy and like literary fiction, but mostly fantasy, and I'm just noticing, I just like realized today that I have no horror. A book I'm considering is The Elementals by Michael McDowell. This is an older horror. I think this came out in the 80s, but has good reviews, so I'm considering this. And it has a house, so possibly like haunted house. I wouldn't mind trying again to listen to Mary by Nat Cassidy, but there's a wait. And oh, Drive Our Plow Over the Bones of the Dead is available. But the audiobook, not the like book, which is what I would prefer. It looks like there are two families that visit this area every year, but this time something they don't like to think about is thinking about them and about all the ways to make them die. I feel like I need to listen to a book for a little while, and yeah, I think I'll try this one, but I just have not had very much. I haven't had much luck with horror. I tried a horror and I tried a few thrillers, I think, and just had no luck with them. And I read The Strain. That's the only horror book that I've read, and I didn't like book 2. So I think that's what kind of, like, after trying Strain 2 and not liking it, I just kind of stopped and didn't think about any other horrors until right now. So let's see. Yeah, I feel like my library, and maybe this is just a normal thing for libraries, there's not a lot of horror, especially like newer horror, and it's a lot of like horror manga and like graphic novels. But okay, we're gonna try this, The Elementals by Michael McDowell, and hope that it's good. I'm going to listen to this. I'm going to get it to my library, to my Kindle, and then listen to it through my Kindle, and kind of hope it gets me out of this slump. But I did read 100 pages of Blood and Fire last night, and then this is probably what happened. I think I burnt myself out last night because I read 100 pages and then read 75 pages of Strange the Dreamer, and was just like really pushing through to try to get to 100 pages, and I was beat. I was like, I can't read anymore. And so I don't think I was in focus, but I will continue reading these today, but later. my brain doesn't want to read right now. And then when we go on our walk, I think I'm gonna try that horror book. And then read these like when she goes to bed, because I have to like be able to focus when reading these. But I'll come back later and let you guys know if this horror book is any good or not. It's Wednesday and I did listen to Of Blood and Fire yesterday. I listened to, I don't know, about 50 pages while we were on our walk, but I was able to read 100. Like I got to page 300. And then I decided today that I'm going to wait and like wait for my sister, because I'm ahead of her. And there are parts that I was like, I wanted to like tell her, but couldn't tell her. So what I decided to do today is actually go back and tab. You see here. So I'm going through all 300 pages, like skimming them, to tab important information, because I was thinking about some characters and I'm not a super big fan of these tabs, but I'm running out of colors. So I wish I had a black and a burgundy, but I'm just gonna leave them for now. Cause like I have tabs, but just not the colors that I want. I might switch out some. I've been looking at my tabs forever trying to decide. But I wanted to go back and mark important information, because there's a lot of information that I want to remember. Characters, creatures, certain events that happened. So that's why I went back, and I'm not done. I think I'm at page 212, so I still have some to go, but I thought I would take a little break. But happy with my tabs, like being on the book, just not happy with the colors. Some of them I don't like. It was hard to make a palette with the tabs I have left. Like I wish that these tabs that like come in like a huge pack had 2 of each color, instead of like I run out of one thing. Like one color is not gonna last a whole book, so sometimes they're like a mix of colors. But so I'm gonna wait for her on that, and I'm gonna prioritize Strange the Dreamer today. Thankfully I have a lot of blue tabs. I have so many blue tabs. And I'm on page 346. I only read like, I don't know, 30 some pages yesterday. Yesterday was just not a very big reading day. I didn't read a whole lot. Like I said, I was kind of burnt out yesterday. But I would love to finish this today, since I'm prioritizing this book today. But we'll see. We'll see if I finish this, but I think if I don't, then I should at least get pretty close to finishing this. And then I'll give my final thoughts, but I'm really liking it. I like that there are ghosts and like a ghost army in this book. We just were introduced to that army. And oh, crazy things are happening in this book, like magical things and like dragons maybe. So that's why I decided, like I feel like I've reached a really like important part where I want to wait for my sister to catch up, because I feel like she's about to hit like a lot of stuff happening. So that's my reading update. I started the horror book and just couldn't get into it. So I just thought maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna try again later. Like maybe on our walk, that's what I'll try to listen to, but I don't know. I was immediately not interested in it, but we'll see. Those Kristen Hannon books just really put me in a audiobook reading slump, because I don't know. I want another audiobook that like transports me. Hello, Betsy. like her books did, and just don't think that's going to be possible. So I'm going to continue to tab. I'm going to get to page 300 with my tabs, and then continue reading this, and then possibly continue that audiobook. We'll see. It needs to grip me, and it needs to grip me fast, or I'm going to DNF it. My daughter's very excited about her toy. I finished Strange the Dreamer. As you can see, all my beautiful tabs. That's so satisfying. This book was so good. It was so beautifully written. Like, I'm excited to read more by Laini Taylor. And this is definitely not a standalone. I don't know why I thought it was like for sure a standalone. There is a second book, and this book left us on a crazy cliffhanger. Like, I gasped at the end. I was like, oh, like what? So I absolutely want to read book 2. Book 2 is Muse of Nightmares, I think it's called. And this was just a beautiful, beautiful book. It was very fun. Like, the magic. What's wrong? The magic was really beautiful. The like banter was fun between like the friends. I guess they're friends, kind of. And the like love was very cute. And there's no spice, which I loved. This is YA, so I love that it didn't have spice to like lean on. It was very like cutesy first love. Like, I don't like the word cutesy. It was cute first love, and then also just like laughing together and like having like fun, like being friends as well. So I really liked that. It's okay. Here, come. Can you sit up? Oh no. See how long she lets me film. So, very happy with this book. This was such a like, I picked this, my prompt was a book that felt nostalgic. This absolutely felt like a really good YA fantasy that is like clean and just beautifully written, and I was really happy to finally read this. I loved this. And I don't typically like hardbacks. Like I prefer paperback, but I kind of like that I have my like Strange the Dreamer book as a hardcover, like to display. And I'm trying to decide if I want to take the shiny bit off. Yeah, loved it. Now, yesterday I spent a while tabbing of Blood and Fire. The issue is I am now out of like 3 of these colors. And I'm so irritated because like the very aesthetic, you know, tabs, however many come in like one of these things, it is not enough for me for a book. I need like 3 of each color to be able to annotate a like over 500 page book because I'm out of tabs, and that's because I started to like kind of be sparse with my tabs. Like I was trying to be, what's the word, frugal with them, because I was like, oh no, I'm running out of this color. And it was actually the same with Strange the Dreamer. I ran out of a specific blue and was using a different blue. I didn't have very many yellows. Like I'm just running out of tabs. But I thought, I've been looking up a bunch of annotating videos to see if like books need to have the colors that match the cover for them to look nice. Like I love that these match the cover, but I don't have any other tabs that match this black and white cover, so I'm considering just using like very unaesthetic tabs. But because there are so many like of each color and they're super cheap, and I got 2 of them. Yeah, there are 50 for each color, and I haven't counted these, but I would think it's like 20. I bet. It feels like there's probably only 20 of each color. And like I like to do about 4 or 5 different categories. And I know some people do like a whole thing, like they have a bunch of different categories so that maybe they don't use up like one color a ton, but I do. So what I think I'm going to do, because you can always switch out the tabs, like if eventually I buy another pack of the like nice ones, then I could switch them back out. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue to tab with these and then see how I like them, and then possibly switch out all of these. That sounds like a lot of work, but so I'll either eventually switch out these or switch out these and just be fine with these not cool colors. But I've seen people tab with just like these and the books still look nice, and my tabs don't stick out very far. So it's not like I'm gonna have a color sticking out like to here, because some people do, they leave their tabs way too far out and I don't like that. And in fact, if I'm gonna tab with these, they'll probably stick out even less than this. Like you're barely gonna see the color, because I don't really want to see the color very much. I just want to know the information for each color. So this book is gonna look really weird at the end, but I'm out of colors. So, and these don't even fully match the cover anyway. Like I need black and I would like a red. So that's what I'm gonna do. I also don't like when tabs are too similar in color, because then I have a hard time like, oh, this color is like just a shade darker than this one. They need to be different colors. They needed like, I need to be able to differentiate them very well, and these ones will. So I'm going to continue to read this today. I want to get 100 pages further, and then I'm considering picking up a romance. I don't know. I think I'm not going to listen to a horror. I have no desire to pick up the one that I started, so I think another like palette cleanser for me is a sad romance. That's what I want. So I think I might either, and I guess I'm not 100% certain if this is a a sad romance or not, but I might start The Love of My Afterlife or The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I have an audiobook for that, so I'm probably gonna start the audiobook for that one because I need an audiobook, and then we'll see. But yeah, that horror did not grip me, did not interest me at all. So I think I'm gonna start The Dead Romantics and just see. I've never read an Ashley Poston, and I don't know anything about it, but I'm hoping it's like a sad. If it's silly, I'll just stop listening to it. But I started another romance that Sid Bookworm really liked. The Things We Never Got Over, something like that. And already I could tell, I was like, this is gonna have a lot of spice in it, I think. Just the language, the things that were being said, I was like, and I looked it up, and sure enough, it's a spicy romance. I was like, nope, that's not what I want. I don't want a spicy romance. I want like a literary fiction with romance. So we'll see if this is gonna be something like that or not. That's the plan for today. I'm so happy with this. Okay, I have the tabs and the categories in these colors. I have to like tape them to the sticky note because tabs are not very sticky. You know, they're not meant to like, they're meant to be able to peel off easily, which is good. But I found that these are really not very sticky, which is good. But they were coming off of this like easily. So you're gonna hear my daughter's toy most likely a little bit throughout the video. So the top one is for love, and I don't know how much I'm gonna use this, but I'm not just like romantic love, like friendship, family. That's what the pink one is for, and I might change it. I did not have that one originally in these colors. Orange is for like wow, or like ah, like when our protagonist got his sword. I was so excited. So like for exciting moments. Yellow is character information, which is the reason I started to do this, because our protagonist has friends that are going to be important, I think, and different characters have different powers, and I want to remember that and have a tab for the characters. And then green is for world building, which I did not have here either, but I do think that is a good one to have. And then blue is for just important information. Something that I'm like, ooh, that seems like, they're just talking about it right now, but I bet that's gonna be important later. So, tabbing or like annotating is so different for everyone. And sometimes I feel like I'm not like doing it right, but I just do what like makes sense in my brain. Duh. I do what makes sense to me, and these categories make sense to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them in the book, in the cover, to reference back to. I don't want to write, I don't like writing on the cover what the annotations are for, because sometimes they change and then I'm like, well, that's permanent there. So I would prefer a sticky note, or on this one I have this little like library card that I created. And I need to keep both because I'm gonna have 2 different kinds of tabs. This book is gonna be so chaotic. And then I also have just, whatever these are called, sticky notes for like the days, like that's how much I read yesterday. And I do also want to not be afraid to put a sticky note on a page if I need to like write something down. So this is gonna be a big series, I think, like for me, and there's a lot going on, and that made me want to annotate it. Like I don't annotate every book that I read, but when I think, like when I know I'm gonna love the book, or when I think I want to remember specific information, which is what happened with this one. I didn't want to ruin it with tabs. Ow. I didn't think I wanted to see tabs on this book, which is why they're just barely gonna peek out, even less than this. But I do want them in the book. I was watching videos of people rebinding books. I would love to do that, but not turning a paperback into a hardcover. I think that that's cool, but I think 99% of books really do not need to be recovered. Like, usually when I see videos, I'm like, oh, but the original cover is like good. Why would you change it? But for me, I don't like romance covers. So I was thinking, how can I turn a cover that I hate into something that I like? And maybe for those people that turn paperbacks into hardcovers, they hate the original cover, but I do like original covers of books. Even more than like special editions, usually. But I like won't read a romance book if it has an ugly cover. So I was designing some covers for books that I don't really like the look of. Let me move you instead of me moving it. Now I might not actually do this, but I'm looking into it. This is a cover that I would swap for The Love of My Afterlife. I designed this cover and I like this so much more than the original. And this was just fun to design. I like very simple covers and this would be so much more me. And then I was also looking at redesigning Shark Heart. I really love the simplicity of this one too. And it would just be a paperback. Like I would not turn a paperback into a hardcover. I would just turn a paperback into a very simple looking paperback with like laminate and stuff. But we'll see. I might not do this. We'll see. I'm having so much fun trying to make paperback dust jackets. This, it's like dumb, but I saw someone on TikTok do this and now it has like consumed me and I just want to make cool dust jackets for the paperbacks that I don't like the covers of. But I want so many different styles of like cover, and I've tried printing 2 different kinds. I printed it in black and white to not waste my color ink, but I tried to make a dust jacket that looked like a Penguin Modern Classic. And I thought that was fun. It was really fun to like make the font and the spine match a Penguin Modern Classic, but I don't know that I like this. So then I went with just a combination of a few designs that I found on Pinterest, but my printer is not printing the colors correctly. It's an inkjet older printer, and like this is supposed to be like a vibrant royal blue and it's coming out very dull. So I thought it would be really cool to have like additions that I have made with all the same spine, and I love blue. I saw these dust jackets. I've been looking up inspiration. It's so much fun. But I saw these dust jackets that all match. They're all blue on the spine. I love how that looks. So that's what I was trying to create, but if you like, the colors are just not correct. And then go with a very neutral cover. And it's not showing up on camera, but in person this looks too pink, and it's supposed to be warmer, and I've tried adjusting it and it's still coming out pink. But I thought this is so much fun. I also really like when covers, I really like a simple cover, but I like a cover being all black or all red like this, but it's gonna just like eat up all my ink. I also like these, like where it's a solid color. It's a good focus. Where it's a solid color in the background and then one picture. Again, there's just so much ink though. Also, no pictures, just the title. A block of color. This is the type of covers that really draw me. Like the Dostoevsky covers, these that are like black and white with pops of red. I really like those. But there are so many cool editions of books, and some that are so much more like designy. Like I love when covers have lime green. But I thought it would be really cool to have the books all match the spine. And like Penguin Modern Classics, how they're all like teal, I wanted like royal blue, but like bold royal blue like this, not this like muted blue. And I matched the color, like I put this into Canva to match that color, and it's still not gripping it. But what I thought was cool is that on the bottom of those editions, there's a symbol for each book, and for Shark Heart, I put a little shark. So I thought that could be cool to put like a symbol for each book. So this is fun to try to design a cover for a book. Shark Heart is not a hideous cover. I actually really like this shark. I just don't like purple. Purple is like my least favorite color, one of them, and I don't like yellow either. So I would just love for this book to have a more neutral cover like that, and for it to match other covers that I could potentially make. And I can make this at home like for free. So to me it's like a fun little like artsy project. Okay, she's still asleep. Because I want to cover up this, and I'm working on it, because this is so ugly, and I'm sorry to the designer who designed this, but I think this is so ugly. So this is what I've been doing, and I've DNF'd 3 books. I'm just DNFing books right and left, guys. I tried The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and I just did not like how there was so much. It's like the author was trying to be so relevant to today's time that it was getting so annoying. And like talking about certain brands and certain authors that are current, and it was just constant. It was irritating. And I could tell by the way that these people were speaking in the book and like the humor that this was not the kind of romance that I was looking for. So I DNF'd it, and I got like an hour in. I also DNF'd, I tried a Emily Henry Happy Place. Sorry, I'm getting a random phone call. I tried Happy Place by Emily Henry. I was like, let me just try. And I didn't like it. I knew Emily Henry was not for me, but I tried it anyway. Then I tried The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes? I don't know how to say her name. And I actually don't think that this is a bad book. I think this is probably a good book. I'll put the picture instead. But it was kind of boring. This is about women during the Depression delivering library books to people in Kentucky that kind of like live far away from the city, that don't have access to books, to education. And I think it's supposed to be kind of dangerous for these women during this time when women were not really traveling by themselves. It's a little bit scandalous, and especially in this very like conservative, very Christian town that this woman's living in. But she wants to escape her home a little bit because she lives with her husband and her husband's father, and they're kind of suffocating. She can't live up to the expectations of her deceased mother-in-law, and her father-in-law is very religious, and her husband agrees with everything he says. So she like doesn't have a voice in anything. And so this librarian is trying to hire women from this very small town to help her deliver these books. And she applied to do that even though her husband doesn't want her to, and her father-in-law either. I bet this is going to be interesting eventually, but I was getting pretty bored. It has a very slow start, and so I did DNF it. I do think that someone would really like this book, but I got an hour in and was still not very interested, so I DNF'd it. But I am currently listening to a book by the same author, I think it's the same author. Yes, I'm currently listening to The Girl You Left Behind by the same author. And this is the author that wrote Me Before You, which I didn't read, but I saw the movie. So I think this author writes sad romance, which I also looked up and confirmed. I'm trying to figure out which romance authors I like, because, and I think I know what I like is sad romance and sad, heartfelt, gut-wrenching romance, and that's not what Emily Henry is. Yeah, I don't think that's Emily Henry. And the other author, it's like not Nicolas Cage, Nicholas Sparks, and Jojo, whatever her name is. I need to look up her name, how to say it. Kristen Hannon. That's a little bit more like historical fiction, but there's some romance in her books. And I'm really hoping Kristen Greenwood that this is, you know, good, because I'm making a cover for that book. So I'm trying to figure out the romance authors that work for me, and I think it's the romance authors that don't have the super colorful covers, and that makes sense. I do like Carly Fortune though. I have her debut novel, Every Summer After, and I think about that book a lot. That was a really good book, and it doesn't have this hideous cover. And I am curious to read that book, her newest release. I hope it's good, because Every Summer After is her most popular book, her debut novel. It was the best, because I've also read another one by her and didn't like it as much. And I think that's just what I have heard, is that like that one is the best and the other ones are just kind of okay. But I'm hoping this next one is good. Oh, I think she might have just woken up. Yeah, she's awake. All right, I think I've probably just been chatting enough. I am gonna continue to listen to this book, and I'm gonna see where my sister's at in this book, because I do want to continue with this, but I don't want to get too far ahead. I didn't read any of this yesterday. I basically just DNF'd 3 books yesterday and didn't read anything physically. So I might read this later. I'm gonna talk to her and see where she's at. And I better go because she's awake. Bye. I finished Of Blood and Fire last night. This book was so much fun. I'm like surprised that this has not blown up yet. I think since the covers are going to change, like I think he's about to blow up. That's what I think. This was so much fun. I tabbed it so much. This felt like very classic fantasy, because there are like elves and dwarves and dragons. Like I feel like this kind of reminded me, now I have not read either of these, but I've seen the movies. This kind of reminds me of like Aragon and Lord of the Rings. I do want to read Aragon, it is on my list, but that's what this reminds me of. I was worried at times that we were moving a little bit too fast, or that I could just tell that this is his first book. Like that, sometimes that would kind of, I would feel that way sometimes, but it was just so much fun. And it was like 500 pages and I feel like I breezed through this. I feel like I read it, like when I would sit down to read, it just went by really fast because I was enjoying myself so much. The magic's really cool and we're learning a lot. And I think what I loved about this, I was so happy it wasn't a romantasy, that there's a lot of world building. Like I think I needed to read just a fantasy, not a romantasy. I was so glad there was no romance in this. And I'm very excited to see where the rest of the series goes, because he has 4 books right now, I believe. And another one that he's like coming out with. Like he's currently writing one, I think. I need to look that up, but had a lot of fun with this. And just to kind of recap the reading vlog, I read Daughter of No Worlds. I listened to this, had a great time. I'm gonna start the next one soon. I read Strange the Dreamer and loved it. Very good YA fantasy, and I am excited to read book 2. I'm not like dying to pick it up. I don't know that it's gonna be anytime soon, but I do want to read book 2. I also finished a historical romance by Jojo something called The Girl You Left Behind. I gave it 3 stars. I feel like half of it was good. I liked that the book was set during World War I, but then we time jumped to 2006, and during that time jump I almost like forgot about the first part of the story. It took me out of the story a little bit, and I enjoyed the World War I portion so much more than 2006. And these timelines are connected by a painting called The Girl You Left Behind, and so we're following a woman during World War I and then a woman during 2006. And I like the connection that was made through an artwork, but it didn't flow like I wanted it to. I feel like we completely were in 2006 and just forgot about World War I. It was fine. I don't know that this author's for me, because I have DNF 2 books by this author, and this one was a 3 star. So, because I started another one yesterday, but I didn't get far enough to even, I'm not gonna count it. It started off interesting, and then I think there's an affair, and I was just like, it wasn't something I wanted to read about. So I DNF'd it. And then I finished Of Blood and Fire and recommend this, and I'm very curious to see if this becomes a really big series. I think it is a loved series. Like, it has a lot of reviews, but it's not something you see on TikTok and all over YouTube, and like, it just hasn't blown up on those platforms yet, I think. But I really want book 2. But I want to start another reading vlog, so I'm gonna end this one here. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please comment below what you're currently reading, and I'll see you in the next one.